Okay, so now that I got the rear axle underneath the Jeep, I got a couple parts I'm waiting on. I'm going to need new center pins for the leaf springs because I mangled the old ones taking them out, and rightly so. You're really not supposed to reuse those. So while I'm waiting on parts, I went ahead and set up my handy dandy alignment system. So I kind of stole this iteration from Dave from Willomet Fabrication. Definitely check out his channel and his Instagram. He's rebuilding, I think, square body full-size Chevy right now, and it's pretty cool, and the guy's fabrication stuff is amazing, so take a look. So what he did was something similar to this. He used an angle finder, zeroed out the bar so it's straight, and he did something very similar where I think he had an upper and lower bar. I'm just going to use an upper bar because, you know, quick and dirty. Got it clamped on, and I'm going to go, I think, 1/4 to 3/16 towed in should be my setting. So then that way I can start measuring to cut my tie rod. And I'm about an 1/8, maybe a little less. I think that should be good. So now I got my length marked. We're going to go ahead and try this saw out. So I've been really tempted to try doing steel cutting blades. This one's actually more made for circular saws, hand saws. But we're going to try it on my super old Craftsman miter box that the fence is a little messed up. So I'm just kind of, it's been kicking around. I was actually going to throw it away, but if I can turn it into a metal saw, so be it. So now we got the saw all set up. You guys are going to see this just as I see it. I haven't really tried this on anything really, really thick, so we'll give it a shot. Not bad. I gotta set up the saw a little bit better. Not bad. And supposedly these are supposed to be low heat. Yeah. Yeah, it's hot, but it's not like super hot. Cool. The Lennox Metal Max seems like it did the job. It could cut a little bit better, but I can't fault the blade. The blade seemed to do what I wanted it to do. This was the saw. This blade is a little too small. So if you see, it doesn't cut all the way down to the back of the fence, so I had to spin it. So that was my fault. But really, I'm going to end up bezeling this anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So let's prep this bar for welding. Put a sticker. Oh, that would go good there. So when it comes to doing tie rods, there's always a point of contention on, do you drill holes and rosette weld? Can you overheat the threads? Do you weld with the threads, you know, stuff threaded in? I've done both, at least not on tie rods, but welding nuts with bolts in them. And it's never seemed to work out well for me. But what I'm going to do to prevent any spatter from ruining these threads, I got this anti-spatter spray, usually for nozzles and work here. I'm going to go ahead and spray the inside so I don't mar up any threads. And then what I'm going to do is take some acetone and do the edge where I'm going to be welding. Boy's gonna kill me. Alright, time for pass number 2. Oops, false start. Alright, tie rod is pretty much done. Gonna let it cool off. I gotta clean it up, paint it, make it look pretty. Got a little spatter I gotta clean up. But yeah, she can go back in. First couple times threading these in, it binds up a little bit, and it is still a little warm, but that should actually make it easier. So what I found is that if I run it in and pull it back out, see it's binding up a little bit. Doesn't also help that my vise is not snug down. But every time I back it off and then thread it in, it gets a little bit easier. I say that, it's gonna make a liar out of me. All right, about 10 minutes later, everything's nice and loose, or at least, oops, it's left-handed, to the point where I can do it by hand, which is all I really care about. It still binds up a little bit, but I guess I must have overheated it just a hair, which is fine, I guess. I'd rather a little hot than too cold and have it come out. What better to do on a nice snowy Thursday? Oh, it's Wednesday. What better to do on a nice snowy Wednesday than a 1-ton axle swap? Alright, so I don't know if I'm going to show this in the video or if I have, but I struggled to get the Johnny Joint assembled. Now they sell a special press, Rockjock does, that helps you install this. They want $100 for that. Now, I know it's proprietary, I know it's it makes things a lot simpler. Now, I've messed with this for 3 or 4 days trying a couple different things, so I could never find anything that had the right inner diameter to go over the actual ball, the pivot ball, and that was thin enough to get the snap ring around it. So I went to Home Depot, I tried a couple things. Originally I tried 3/4 inch PVC, didn't work. But then I found this 1/2 inch to 3/4 step up that was perfect. Now granted, it did destruct itself when I pressed it, but this was I think a 60-cent piece. 60 cents is a hell of a lot better than $100, and the rest of the stuff I had kicking around. So if you get caught and you need something to help compress that ball so you get the snap ring in, check out Home Depot. I think this is 1/2 to 3/4 step. I'll take it off and check it out here in a second. So it's really hard to see, but 3/4 to 1/2 inch step, and it worked great. Yeah, I got a couple pieces I gotta dig out of there, but we're good to go. After a couple days of trying a couple different things, sockets and whatnot, it just wasn't happening. But now I can go ahead and move forward. Oh, that was close. I might start pulling the steering box. Reason being, I gotta drill out the pivot arm for the new drag link, as well as I'm going to be installing a power steering cooler and even a new power steering pump, getting ready for hydro assist. I don't know why it took so long. We're going to be trying out, so I'm going to drop it on my face. This beautiful little piece here. Let me get it out here. I saw this on Muddy Beards had this. So this is a cone that goes in the very end of the power steering box. So that way you don't have to tear it apart, go through all the ball bearings, tap and drill. You pull the cone, you put this in, put a new seal in, and it's already pre-threaded with the fitting for power hydro assist. So the beauty part about this piece is that if you decide you want to do hydro assist, you can still get this. And if you're replacing a box but you're just not ready to do hydro assist but you want to do it in the future, I think this is like 20-30 bucks. You get it, you install it, comes with a new gasket and everything. Then you get a plug and you plug it up, seal it, and you're good to go. And then when you're ready, just pull the seal, let the fluid drain all over you, then you run your lines to it. So we'll be installing that too. Once I get the steering box out, I hate you doing stuff with fluid. Ugh. All right, let's get it going. So one thing I've been sitting on this for like literally a few months now, and I never did anything with it. I can't believe that I didn't think about it. Was I bought this on a whim. This is the cooler I'm going to try running. I know it's a little on the smaller side, but anything's better than nothing. And I was like, oh, maybe it'll thread into the factory gearbox. Wasn't sure. You know, I was like, oh, well, I'll buy it. It's cheap enough. And I've had this gearbox right around the same time. I never put two and two together. I literally didn't. They were sitting on top of each other, and I just now tested it, and it's been months, and it threads in perfect. So that's bonus. So now what I'm going to do is just play around, figure out where I want to mount this thing. And the beauty part about this is I ruined my return line because it's seized up. Now it spins, the nut spins, but the hose, the line doesn't spin inside the fitting. So I was going to have to get a new one anyway. But this one is in pretty good shape. And it comes with all the hose I need. And it plugs right into the back of the box. So, win-win. Going back now. Alright, let's do our worst. 9/16. Here we go. put the gasket on. I got lucky. The gasket for mine has these little tabs on it, and it kind of gives you an idea of which direction they go. So let me just open this up a little bit. There we go. Tab down. All right. Make sure we're lined up. Okay. There we go. Let's see if we don't leak like crazy now. Okay. So I gotta go get the fittings for this. That's for another day. So I'm gonna put this in a safe spot where it won't get dirty, cover it up, and move on to some other stuff. So I forgot where I ended up on my last update. I was looking for a better place to mount the power steering cooler. Now, I was originally going to go over here on the driver's side and go this way. Now, I was reading, and PSC does not recommend going up like this. You could go up and down, which isn't a bad thing. However, I just wasn't really happy with it. I want to give this radiator as much flow as possible. So what I'm going to do, and from what I was reading, there's a lot of people who run their power steering cooler in this little void right here. You got some of the airflow from the engine, the airflow coming up this way. I don't know how much that's going to affect, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm going to mount the cooler in this void right here, and it's also protected, which is nice, and it's a very short run to the power steering box, which I've gotten in. If you look right behind, right below my finger there, that's where the void is. Here is where the power steering box is, so I don't have to cut any crazy holes. And that's probably the way I'm going to do it. Now, to mount this power steering cooler the way I want to, I need to fabricate a mount. And what I did was I cut the factory one off because it's got the rubber isolators on it. And what I'm going to do, I've notched it out, and I'm going to do it like this. Now, it's not pretty. Hopefully when I'm done it'll look a little bit better, but I'm going to go ahead and tack this on. So basically it'll mount to the inside of my cross member there. I still got some fitment stuff I got to do with it. And it'll have the isolators there so it doesn't shake apart and vibrate the heck out of it. Yeah, so I just got to tack this up, paint it, and we should be good to go. So something that Muddy Beards definitely made apparent with the adapter for the Hydro Assist is that it basically ends right at this cross member right here. So what I want to do is just open up a spot, the plasma cut out a little access hole so I can run my fitting through that little cross member. I'm going to try to take out as little as possible just to kind of keep the integrity of the cross member intact. And yeah, let's do it. Whoa! What the fuck is that? I gotta change my pants. Had my drain pan explode on me, as well as my bladder. I will be right back. All right. Does this go up? What goes in? There we go. So this is where I went with the cooler. If you look at the front, it's right here. So PCS actually doesn't recommend running a cooler right around the size I'm looking to do for a Ram. So I'm hoping this is just some reassurance or some insurance that this thing doesn't break. So it's been a few days, I forgot where I left off, so I'm just going to do a quick recap. I've got the trans cooler roughly mounted. I got to go back in and put some rubber gasket material around to keep the cooler from hitting the header panel, but it's got good clearance. I like the routing. I just got to run the lines, and the beauty part about putting it on the passenger side is I'm actually going to cut down on probably a few feet of line based on how I ran it last time. So it's going to be a much cleaner install, a lot less hose to break, and I might just go and get some steel braided line for a little extra protection. Got the steering box is in, the power steering cooler is mounted. The power steering pump is coming off probably the next couple days. So that's that right there. Then I got to worry about measuring for lines for the the hydro assist. My friends at A1 Auto had a great deal on some drilled and slotted rotors and pads. I think it's under $400. Shipped next day. I literally ordered it 2 days ago. I had it yesterday. So far so good. It's got rust preventative coating on it, which is great. So if they hold up, I think it's a great solution to Power Stop, which I'm not downplaying Power Stop whatsoever. I hear they're great stuff, but I believe they're close to almost $1,000 or so. Definitely north of 400, which is what I spent front and back with rotors and pads, drilled and slotted, rust preventative coating. So that's pretty good. But what I got to do is recondition the calipers. Now, I was toying with the idea of just getting all new calipers. However, that is another big investment. You're talking probably about $125 for each caliper. So you're almost $400 or $500 here. And that's some money I'd rather not spend. So to save a little bit of money, I'm going to recondition the rotors, the calipers that came off the axle. Now, some of them look a little worse for the wear. However, a wire wheel will go a long way. I checked everything. Everything seems to be moving pretty well. The pistons are not frozen. The sliders move nice. In fact, this looks like this has been recently replaced. It looks like a Motorcraft, which is great. This one looks like it was replaced recently. This is with a TRW. Nice. TRW, sweet. So I'm going to go ahead, go through these one more time, check all the sliders, check all the pistons, and then I'm going to go ahead clean everything up. Also got lug nuts so I can start getting the wheels on. And I also want to give a big shout out to my buddy Mike. He saw me struggling with all my hand tools. He said, "Why don't you go ahead and grab like a mid-size impact for DeWalt?" And he hooked me up with that. So Mike C, thank you very much. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know this is kind of jumping all over the place, but this project is very big in scale, especially for me, with the time and the money and funds and tools that I have available. So that's why it's kind of a little scatterbrained and kind of all over the place. If I showed you everything, this thing would be hours upon hours of just film. So I don't want to do it to you. A couple things. I want to say thank you to all the subscribers. We hit 1,000 subscribers, which is unbelievable. I can't thank you enough. I never thought I'd get this far. You know, there's a lot of people kind of helping, pushing me to get better, to put out better content. So just thank you very much. I appreciate everyone's feedback and everyone's loyalty. And thank you for subscribing. And thank you for watching. With that being said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, please leave those down below. I read each and every one of them, and I try to get back to just about everybody. And I enjoy talking to people. So with that being said, we'll catch you on the next one.